Hi everyone, it's another day, another share. Today I'm going to show you an idea that I've had for quite a while. I have been saving the ends of my bias. So when I bind a quilt, I have these strips that are folded in half. I have lots of leftovers. I always overestimate how much I would need, and I end up having lots and lots of leftovers. And I have this box. This huge box, just full of strips. In here I have 2.5 inch strips, 1.5 inch strips, 2.25 inch strips, and today I'm going to work with the 2.5 inch strips. So let me just get this box out of the way so I can show you what I'm doing. So my idea was these little tiny blocks, and I think they're just so sweet, so fun. You can put them in, you can make here, you can make 4 patches with it, you can make bigger patches, and put them together however, and just have a lot of fun with them. So they end up being 2 by 2. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to take 2 strips. Okay, in my case I'm using 2.5 inch strips, and you're going to put side by side. And I wouldn't go any smaller than the 2.5 inch strips. And you're going to sew on this side and on this side. Okay? And once you've done that, you will have a piece that has been sewn together. Now, I measure from the raw edge, not from the sewing line. Okay, and we're going to divide the 2.5 in half and that becomes 1 1/4. And you are going to trim them apart in half. So you end up with these 2 strips like that. So I'm going to iron these. And I'm going to show you, just going to put that over on the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and iron these. And they should measure 2 inches. Now, they might be a little off. Don't worry if they're just a little off and not quite 2 inches. Some might be just over the 2 inch mark, some might be right on the 2 inch mark, some might be just under the 2 inch mark. Ironing is important for this. So I'm just going to bring this back in, and I'm going to trim these apart. Okay, so you're just going to take them, and I like to line up one of the raw edges against one of the lines on the mat, and I'm just going to trim this to 2 inches. And like I said, if they're not perfectly to the 2 inches, still cut them 2 inches because you want some consistency. And your feed dogs can probably help you ease in anything that's not perfect. But at the same time, if you're just a little off with the seam allowance, then it's not the end of the world. You can use your feed dogs to ease in anything. And if you're just a little tiny off, these are tiny. These end up being quite small once they're sewn together. So to sew them together, we are going to take them and lay them out. I haven't quite decided what I would like to do with these, but I think what I might do is do a block and then sash them up with another fabric. So I might just put them all into block form. So you're going to sew them, one going this way, one going this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. And we're going to just go over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew these up. Okay, and here we are. And actually, we didn't need I am laughing at myself. I'm just going to turn off the corner thing because that camera's not in use right now when I'm at the sewing machine. I forgot about that. So we're just going to sew these together and we're going to chain sew. So my suggestion, if you're going to do something like this with your leftovers, I would just put everything together and chain sew everything. And one more. And then we're just going to take that out of the machine and quickly cut them apart. And we'll go back to, so yeah, we're going to cut these apart and then we're going to iron and lay them back out and sew the 3 doubles together. I don't get really worried about, I mean, you can lay things out and iron as you go and sew things together. All right, so again, we're going to just make sure that everything is going in the right direction. I'm going to sew these 2 together. I'm going to sew these 2 together. And then, I need my scissors. And then we're going to go ahead and sew the last 2 on. Just going to grab them. I'm going to sew the last 2 on, making sure that things are lined up properly and going in the right direction. And there we go. And now we just have to iron these somehow in a different direction, whatever. I don't get too upset with these scrappy things. There we go. And now we can sew these and making sure that these are going in opposite directions so we can sew. Now, I'm not going to bother pinning, or maybe I should. I'm not going to bother pinning. So we're going to switch back to the sewing machine and we're just going to sew this row onto the other 2 rows that have been already done. And I'm just going to line up my seams as best I can. And I have a little discrepancy right here, but what I did was I just lined up my seams as best I can, and if they're a little off, they're a little off. Don't forget, some of these are on bias, so you're going to have some discrepancies. And here we are. So let me just get this out of the machine. And let me cut some threads off and I'll iron this and then you can see what 3 rows are going to look like. And there we are. And that's it. So that's a great way to use up fabrics that you've been saving from the ends of your bias. They're tiny, so if they're not perfect, it doesn't really matter. because you are making something very small. So the stretch is limited, and you might need that stretch a little bit. Here I am ironing away. So that is one of 2 ideas I had for that box, and I'm really, really thrilled with this idea. So I think what I might do is measure, here, let me switch back. So what I might do is measure this. This is 9 inches with seam allowance. So, and this is 4.5. So I got to figure out, I think it's 2 more of these. 2 more, I think, will bring me to 9 inches. But I won't know that till I check it, because these now measure, they measure they're supposed to measure 1.5 inches. This. Yeah. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think I need 3 to go the other way. Yes. Yes, I do. And that will give me 9, and those will be blocks 9 by 9. And then I think I'll do a whole bunch of them and sash them. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So we'll see you on the next Other Day, Another Share. Bye.